Hi. Welcome to Art Movies Recap. Let's recap the film Salem's Lot inspired by Stephen King. The movie begins with writer Ben Mears when he returns to his hometown of Jerusalem's Lot to write a book about his childhood. He befriends the locals and starts a romantic relationship with Susan Norton, a local who has an overbearing mother and dreams of leaving town. Meanwhile, high school student Mark Petrie finds himself the target of a school bully and meets school teacher Matt Burke. A strange European man called Straker opens an antique store in town and moves into the long-abandoned Marston house, which has a history of murders. Straker has a large coffin shipped into the house and placed in the basement. The brothers walking from school and Mr. Straker offer a lift to them, but the kids decline it and walk straight to the wood. Apparently, while walking, Mr. Straker kidnapped the boy, one of Mark's friends, Ralphie, and sacrifices him to his master, a vampire called Kurt Barlow. A search party is unsuccessful in finding the boy, and the residents blame newcomer Ben. Danny woke up from bed hearing the voice of his brother, and suddenly an unseen creature attacks him. Danny got sick, and sadly later the boy dies from pernicious anemia. After his funeral, Danny emerges from his coffin, now a vampire, and bites gravedigger Mike. Matt encounters a sickly Mike at a bar and invites him to stay the night before taking him to a doctor. After noticing a set of strange symptoms, Matt suspects that Mike has been turned into a vampire. After witnessing Danny fly into his house through a window, Matt flees and tells Ben and Susan. Along with Dr. Cody and Sheriff Gillespie, the group examines Mike's now lifeless body, although Matt does not tell Cody or Gillespie about what he saw. Later that night, Mike returns, fully turned into a vampire, but Matt is able to ward him off with a cross. Danny attempts to trick Mark into letting him into the house, but Mark resists and also fends off Danny. Mark researches how to kill vampires. The next day, Dr. Cody is informed that Danny and Ralphie's mother has been found dead from the same disease that killed her son. After discovering that Mike's body has also vanished, Cody confronts Matt and he tells her, Ben, and Susan about the vampires and how to defeat them. Mark and Matt both break into the Marston house to kill Barlow but are locked in the basement by Straker. Barlow bites Matt while Straker captures Mark. Meanwhile, Ben, Susan, and Dr. Cody investigate Danny's mother's body at the morgue. She turns and bites Dr. Cody before being destroyed with a cross. Dr. Cody manages to stop herself from turning by injecting herself with a rabies shot. Barlow's vampires rapidly turn the town's residents. The next day, Mark escapes his bindings and kills Straker. Seeking shelter at the church, Ben, Susan, and Dr. Cody consult the town's priest, Father Callahan, about what to do. Mark arrives informing them of what occurred at the Marston house and about Barlow. They investigate the property and are attacked by a turned Matt in the basement. Ben kills him with a wooden stake. The town is completely overtaken by vampires. Sheriff Gillespie attempts to flee the town while Susan and Ben try to warn Susan's mother. Susan's mother reveals she has taken over Straker's role as human servant to Barlow, and Susan is bitten by a vampire. Ben flees with Susan. Father Callahan attempts to convince Mark's parents of the danger, but they are ambushed and killed by Barlow. Mark flees and takes shelter in his treehouse from his former classmates, all now turned into vampires. Ben takes Susan, who is in the midst of turning to the church, which is protected holy ground from the vampires. Dr. Cody is unable to cure her and Susan fully turns, fleeing. Ben gives chase and is attacked by the turned town residents, seeking shelter in the church with Cody. Gillespie's corpse is thrown into the church by the vampires. Mark searches for Barlow and breaks into Straker's antique store, where he kills Danny. He is found by Ben and Dr. Cody, and the group realize the vampires are sheltering at the local drive-in movie theater, using the cars as coffins. As they prepare to kill Susan, Dr. Cody is shot dead by Susan's mother. The sun starts to set and the vampires attack Ben. While Susan's mother keeps on shooting to Ben, Mark runs a car over Susan's mother and instantly kills. In order to save Ben, Mark destroys the theater screen, exposing the vampires to sunlight and killing them all. Night falls as Barlow emerges from his coffin and attacks Mark. Ben kills Susan and manages to save Mark, killing Barlow with a pointed wood. With the town's residents wiped out, Ben and Mark drive off. Thanks for watching.